Broadcast live.
We out here with the impulsive lady Zamar. Says whatever's in her mind. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks yourself.
Like,
Thank you.
clean. Like, I hope you washed your hands. Like,
Oh, wow.
impulsive. That's exactly what's going on in my head. I like, oh, I was
Supposed to wash my hands.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks yourself.
Very good. Firstly, we haven't had a chat before. We've met each other always like Zoom, you know. And you've got this, you got this like low kind of sweet
Yeah.
voice when you talk, and then you got this big voice when you sing. You know, where does the singing bug start? Where does it come from?
The voice?
Just, people have the voice, but they just want to leave it at church. But to literally be so inspired by the voice, to say, I'm gonna chase a career. Where does that come from?
I want to be heard. I think as a child, that's what I've always wanted. Like, I felt like I was never heard because I speak so softly. People always had this thing where they're like, huh, what are you saying? And it just created this need to have people hear what I have to say.
So your mind was like, if you don't hear me, I'm gonna put you in my lyrics, B.
Yeah, I'm really spicy like that sometimes. I do write like a lot of like random stuff. And for me, I've said it.
Which stuff do you kind of put on the side and you go, I don't think I was impulsive here. Let me put that on the side. Do you have songs like that you're like, I don't think they're ready for that?
I think mostly stuff that have to do with me personally, like real dark stuff, because I have like a twisted mind.
Okay.
I think about the worst things that could possibly happen, and I'm always imagining worst case scenarios, and sometimes I just go off a tangent and just apply some of these situations to my own life, and I'm curious about a lot of things, but mostly darkness.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about the darkness. Can you just share a little bit of darkness? Don't give us too much because this is the world. We're in the world of light. Just
Yeah.
a bit of your darkness. The other side B.
Yeah, right. I am obsessed with like vampires and supernatural things. Anything that's supernatural, I'm really like I believe that we're living in a world that has so much bad that's going on that is completely hidden by all the information technology, and we're not aware of it. I also think a lot about death. I don't know why people are afraid of death, but I think about it a lot because I think that in order for you to properly live, you have to embrace the fact that you're gonna die. And I wish I could write that in my songs sometimes, but I can't. People want to hear about beauty. Even when you're talking about things that are bad, they want to hear it from a perspective of hope. So it's like it gets tiring. So you just park that. I park all of that away.
But can't you literally have part of the light that everybody is expecting, and then you have that real side of you, because it's still your creativity. Don't you feel that, like, to a certain extent, you kind of cage your holistic being with your creativity when you do that?
No, I compartmentalize. So for music, I write a lot about my hopes and my dreams and all the amazing experiences that I have. And then as a writer, specifically a poet and a narrative writer, I then delve into the dark side there.
When did you realize that you got a gift to actually write then, and actually get your message out? Besides just, look, I want to be heard, but you got to believe in the gift, right? There has to be some light. You got to believe in the gift. When did you start doing that, and what reaffirmed it for the first time, and that made you go, okay, cool, actually, I'm not wrong?
I made stories up all the time when I was growing up, just for myself, and sometimes I'd test it on my friends to see whether they'd believe me or not. Obviously I'd tell them I'm lying, but I would always get into that thing of convincing people of something that I genuinely didn't believe in, but I just wanted to see if people would. And I realized then that somehow when I say things, they have influence. Also, when I apologized to my parents, I would write it down and not say it, and it seemed to have more impact. It got reaffirmed when I was doing my first year in languages and literature, where my professor actually sat down and said, you actually have a gift. You know how to put things down in a way that people understand, so yeah.
What were you studying?
Languages and literature.
Oh,
I got a
languages.
BA. Yeah.
Oh, a BA in languages and literature.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. And you are an author, of
Yeah.
course. So I guess part of that, and so you write children's stories.
And not necessarily. I wrote a children's story.
You're a child, a children's stories.
Yes.
So I mean, like, are you gonna be like venturing into more of those, or is this the beginning of your Harry Potter series,
I
or
hope
Lord of the
so.
Rings series?
I hope
Where are we going
so.
with this writing? You know?
I have been working on a trilogy for a good 8 years now, but I don't know if it will be ready anytime soon. Anthologies, I have one completed anthology that I want to publish. I'm still working on my second one. And the children's stories, I'm writing my second book on the children's series. So yeah, when it comes to writing, that's really like, I always say to people, writing 100%, music 99.
Really? Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. You read a lot.
Yeah,
What are you reading?
right now,
Yeah.
Robert Greene. I'm kind of obsessed. Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's incredible. Well, I mean, obviously, I never knew this about you. You know, if I knew this about you, be like,
I'm a
okay.
nerd, like a real, real nerd, like next level nerd.
And what is your background, though? I mean, where you from? Like hood raised.
Oh, I was born in Tembisa. So we stayed there till I was like 5. Then my parents decided they want to move to Pretoria, and I've been in Pretoria ever since.
Oh, okay, okay. That's crazy because you kind of come in an industry like this where there's not enough writers, unless they're writing their own lyrics. There's not enough readers. You know what I mean? It's a different breed, and I can imagine you navigating in this industry.
It's been hard. It's been so hard.
Does it feel like you're always trying to like deal with grade threes, and you in varsity all the time?
I wouldn't say anything about them
Yeah.
or the people that I've dealt with in any way. I just feel like I'm constantly apologizing for
Mm.
what I know. I'm constantly having to say, like, almost dumb myself down all the time
Do you
so that
feel
I can accommodate.
everybody? Yeah.
Mm.
That's crazy because you speak like it seems like having too much information in an industry like this almost works
It
against
does.
you.
It does. Especially being a female, black female. Knowing too much is it's the same as just imploding on yourself. It's the very same thing. Knowing too little, knowing too much, wrong spectrums.
So how do you keep your sanity? I mean, this balance of sanity between, um, I still want to do what I love, which is 99%, which is singing. I still want to perform where everyone else is performing. I still want to do all these things, but like I can feel to a certain extent, it's draining me at the same time. It's like the space drains me. How do you balance that and keep going?
I think I remember the core. The core of what I want to do is spread a message. And I think the art of a great writer, any performer, any artist in actual fact, is getting the message across.
Mm.
So, as frustrated as I may be, I can't allow my own limitations because I feel like it's a limitation on my part. Me knowing too much is what has created frustration in me, you know. So I try by all means to remember that it's no one's fault that I know a lot, you know. My job is to make sure that they hear what I'm saying, and that's how I keep saying.
And is it always important for you to read the room whenever you're in a space
I
and
try
you?
not to read rooms, I don't lie, but there are situations where I have to read the room. But a lot of time I live in my head, I'm oblivious. So sometimes I end up just not doing it because I've also got social anxiety. So when I start reading rooms now, it's like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And now the reality of being a human being in society kicks in, where you're like, how do I look? Are people gonna like me? You know, I think we all struggle with that thing of acceptance.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about Lady Zamar?
That I'm dumb. I'm not dumb. People think I'm dumb because I smile, and I'm not. Everything I do and say is it's just it's not stupid. Stop thinking that. I'm not dumb.
I mean, I would wonder what would make you like, because I always say that the mind concludes based on actions around them. So I wonder what makes you conclude that people would think that you're dumb?
I think it's a bigger conversation than the music industry. I think it comes down to the cultural identity of South Africa,
Mm.
right? When we look at what is the most important thing what has been important to South Africans for the longest time, survival, and getting to the next level, right? Things like arts have never been something that we as a country focus on. We don't consider musicians, painters, sculptors as people who have intellect. And unfortunately, that idea has transferred itself into the business aspects of the music industry. And to a certain extent, when you create a reality, in your mind, it happens. So there's also this thing where artists are kind of treated like we're special, which we are, no lies. We are different types of human beings, but not for the good. It's almost like they think we're special for being stupid, you know? So now when the general population sees us and, you know, they look at how certain people do certain things for clouds, and so they just make these conclusions that, le dom, like all of you guys are just dumb. And a lot of people that I've met who are in the art space are actually quite intellectual, and they just understand trends and they understand how society works and how people think, and how to get people talking.
Mm. And I think maybe the one of the other things that maybe has to be seen is that there's a lot of people that are trying to be Lady Zamar,
Which is weird.
trying to sing even, trying to have careers, who literally doing the art, talented, but there's also like a mind that you need to have to make it work. Just as there are people who professionals who trying to grow inside the industry of being professionals, but they're struggling to grow. For you to be a ladies man, not only is it do you have a voice, you actually have to be strategic. You know, you actually need to know how the money works. There's a lot of things
Yeah.
that you need to know, and you need to know where your business stands, whatever, whatever. Which some people who I guess might think that you're dumb in that sense, they probably don't even have to worry about half those things because they just need to maybe go to a job and come back and it's done. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I mean, if it is that case, then um, do you find yourself in even like when you are writing these books, and do you find yourself being in a place where you always have to show that, hey, I know my shit, you know? Or is it because, when you start living like that, it's almost like your craft starts becoming influenced by I know my shit versus innately, this is what I really want to do.
Um, I personally don't live like that. I won't
Mm,
lie. Like, I don't even try to prove anything to anyone. I just feel like it's such a waste of time. I have such limited time on this earth. And my job is not to make you believe, like, know, understand me. I think my job is only to make you hear what I have to say.
yeah.
And what I have to say is, this is the message. If I want to communicate that right now we need a little bit more love, and that's what I'm going to communicate. I feel no pressure to be like, oh my gosh, no meme, no. The art for me is the most important thing. And I think when you understand that art on its own is an entity,
Mm.
then you, as an artist, that's why you kind of switch off from that. Like, it's whatever, you know. It just irks me personally, but it doesn't bother me in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah. In this whole life thing, your personal life as a human being in your own space, what has been the constant recurring thought that you put down on paper that literally you unconsciously or subconsciously do, that in sometimes you go, I think I've said this before? What is that one thought that is constantly recurring, which probably might be your message, but you're always trying to find different ways to kind of deliver it?
We need more love.
Yeah.
I I don't know why people think love is
Love
such
like
a.
girlfriend, boyfriend love like, I love you, ladies, Amor. This is a human being love.
I think that the in depth love, like, we need. We don't have enough tolerance in the world.
Mm,
We don't have enough understanding for each other, and the unfortunate thing is that we live in Africa where our conversations have never been centered around us. You know, we constantly have someone else telling us who we are. You know, what we should like, what we shouldn't like, and what I've also realized in the general world out there is that everyone has an opinion about who someone should be. And ask myself, if we just had more love and just acceptance and tolerance and understanding of each other just a little bit more, would we then not achieve more? Would we then not eradicate some of these ridiculous problems that we have that should be solved? Instead of the greed comes from a lack of love, the violence comes from a lack of empathy and understanding. There's so much that comes from people just not having enough of that thing of, if I see you struggle, I'm gonna help you. I don't have to love you like you're my boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, but just love you enough to help you when you need it. And I think people need to love themselves enough to accept help, because a lot of times, even if you love someone, if they don't understand the concept of love, it can come across as really bad. You can be condescending and even insulting to them. So I think it's very important for people to see more of that, and that's what I keep trying to put out in the world. um, I'm trying to find different ways to say that, guys, there's something that we can all achieve if we just love each other more.
Would you say that, like, that if we believe in each other, uh, and we'll find a reason to know, like, I believe in you, so I find a reason to be sitting around you. I believe in music, so by virtue of the fact, the action of me loving music makes me have an affinity to someone that actually, like, has a passion for it and literally does it,
Mm.
and that means that we could literally sit here and talk about this, and it could reach so many people. And what if that love literally translated in the world of uh, of creating food, like agriculture? What if that love
It would
translated,
change
in
everything.
technology? What if that
Mm.
love translated in corporate? But the truth of the matter is that the more we don't see ourselves, the more we miss our opportunities also.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Because if I see you, then I will literally go, ladies and Zamar should fit in here. If you see me, but if I don't, literally someone will tell me, no, why don't you put like Jill Scott? Jill Scott is the one, So
Mm.
there's something that's bigger than just having love. The thing is that not seeing each other is the most powerful thing that can literally eradicate, like literally just like remove us or not make us important, or not
Mm.
even tell an African story. Because you only
Mm.
tell an African story if you see an African,
Exactly. If you can't see it, then you can't tell it.
you know?
Mm.
Well, I mean, I am, I'm happy that you want to use your voice for purpose, and I look forward to the books, the trilogy that's coming out, in the next
We don't know how many years.
how many years, we look forward to it being a movie also, you know what I mean? And thanks for joining us on the Unplug, Please
Mm.
keep spreading the word of love, keep making the music, and yeah, I still feel that like I don't know you because I just know one side now. I'm still curious about
Sorry.
your darkness.
Oh
I'm
wow.
still curious about your darkness, but they'll tell us. Can
Yeah.
you just release one dark song?
One day.
I hate you so much right now.
Oh wow, no. That would completely go against everything I believe in. I hate you so much. Even though yes, I do hate some people, but
But there's a
some
balance. You talk
things.
about darkness, but like hate.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Maybe I should. Something violent.
When you say dark, is it violence? Is it gruesome? What
All darkness is violent. Think about when you close your eyes. It's a violent thing.
What do you dream of?
Everything. Everything. There isn't anything I don't dream of.
Let's say balance of dreams. Happy dreams, like bad dreams.
I think it's a bit of both. I once had this dream where it was a giant. I don't know who the giant was, and I cut the giant up into so many different pieces, and there was so much blood everywhere. And then it got up and moved in those pieces. It was so wild, you know.
Let me translate that dream. That means that like you've got like these challenges that you'll always be able to chop up and you'll think that you're done. But when you're literally done with chopping them up, they'll form in a different way. So the way you are literally like approaching things, you are cutting them, but you don't cut them for good. You cut them so they can still find life. It's like you're almost creating these temporary solutions and not permanent solutions.
Oh wow.
I'm just guessing. The Unplug. Catch us with Lady Zamar. We live.
Broadcast live